We're going to find out how much we can build in just 1 week. I've just rocked up to a brand new site. We've got a freshly poured slab, walls ready to go, but we've only got 1 week to try build this double-storey house. Let's find out how much we can get done. So our goal for day 1 is to stand up every single wall, get them plumbed up, and then hopefully get the bracing done. As you saw at the start, this is a prefab job. All the walls have been built in a factory off-site, and they've just been dropped off for us to stand up. Ideally, what we want to do is stand all the external walls first, making a perimeter for the house, and then we'll go through and do the internal walls later. Unfortunately though, the way these walls have been stacked is that every single wall that we need first is in the bottom of the piles. So we're going to be spending most of our morning actually sorting out these walls and moving them around. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll shoot these off. I'll do 1 nail and then we'll run a string line because that's a long wall. So we'll just get them roughly plumbed. I'll do 1 nail and then we'll double check it with the string.
Hit it to you.
To me?
Yeah, you can probably come like 3. Yeah, shoot that.
Yeah. Sweet. We'll just leave that for now. Alright, so that's day 1 done, and we're not where we wanted to be at. We've gone through, we've got every single wall stood up, and most of the temp braces are done too. The only things we haven't done is a few of the internal temp braces we need to do to strengthen these walls, and then also we have to go through, run our string lines and make sure all of our long walls are straight too. Our goal was to get that done today and then also run through and probably get most of the bracing done. We've got a few cross braces, there's a fair few sheets of ply. One of the reasons we're so far behind today is with how many issues these prefab walls have had. I'm just trying to show these junctions here, and it might be easier from this side. Little stuff like that, where we got the junction following up there from the niche, and then on the top, the studs are completely on the piss, leading out the other side. Obviously we haven't fixed that, but there's been so many areas like this where we've had to pull studs out because the studs have all been sticking out past the top plate. You can see there that the studs are sticking out a little bit, and I think there's a few that we haven't fixed yet, like the end there. And we can see those studs are sticking out past the top plate. And I mean, we can just look at it, it's a pretty rough prefab as well. Not much care has been done in these walls. And the other thing we've noticed is for all the checkout studs over the beams, they've just completely cut the stud off. And I actually don't even know if that's compliant. Anyway, there's nothing we can do about it now. We're finishing the day. I'm heading home, working on my kitchen reno. We'll get back into it on day 2 tomorrow. All right, it's day 2. Just got to site and we're just gonna get straight to it. So yesterday we had 4 people in the morning, but we did most of the day with only 3 guys on site. Today it's even worse, there's only 2 of us here this morning, and we've jumped in straight away and gone through and straightened these long walls. With that done, one of us is jumping on, starting the bracing, and I'm going to start packing at the steel and getting ready for the posies. Even though there's only 2 of us, we are wanting to push through pretty quickly today because we're already so far behind schedule. The guys that I'm doing this job with aren't a framing crew. They've done frames before, but they've only done them here and there, so they're not going to be working at the speeds and have the same systems that a proper framing crew will have. So I'm holding a small wall that's made to go in this corner in front of me, and this corner has turned into a nightmare. Instead of a junction in the corner, the engineers called for a double stud, and the prefab company has just made this whole wall out of 4 studs. But unfortunately, because it's 4 studs, we can't connect it to the steel that it's next to. So to make this wall work, I'm going to have to go through, take every single stud apart so I can firstly screw that first stud to the steel, and then attach every single stud to it. But it gets even better from there. These 4 studs are actually sitting on top of a steel cleat, and I can't just have this wall hovering because this wall is supporting a bit of weight, so I need to check out the bottom plates, make them sit hard down to the steel cleat, and then individually go through after that and put in every single stud. We had to do something similar to this to a few different walls to make sure we can connect them to the steel, and it doesn't look like much, but once you start doing this a few times, it starts to eat up a few hours of the day, and that's such valuable time when we're trying to get this house built in 1 week. What I'm doing now is setting up my laser level, and I'm going to quickly go around, find the highest point of my wall plates, and when we put our beams on and our posies on, we're going to be packing everything up to be at the same height as that highest point, so that upstairs can be perfectly level. So we are jumping straight onto the posies now. What we're meant to do, and what you always do on any other frame, is go through, install all your beams, and then do the posies afterwards. The reason we're doing this job backwards is that we're still waiting for the beams to come. They were actually meant to arrive Monday morning with the wall frames, except now they're getting pushed back till tomorrow morning. And obviously we're trying to push to get this job done as quickly as possible, so we can't just sit around or take a day off waiting for the beams to come. Instead, we're just going to do what posies we can do for today and jump straight onto the beams when they rock up. For the first time on this job, we finally had a smooth run, and we smashed out a fair bit of work this morning. We're just going through now and putting up the remainder of the posies, and one thing I really want to do today is actually jump up and start laying down the flooring in the back corner. We still have a fair bit of work we need to do to finish off the subfloor, but the upstairs walls are coming first thing tomorrow, and we obviously want them to be craned up here so we don't waste half a day trying to pass them up. So I'm just going to jump in this back section here, just where the posies are going the other way, and I'm just going to quickly floor all of this so that when the walls come, we've got somewhere to stack them, and then once they get delivered here, we can just keep going back, finishing off the subfloor, and then we can floor everything else when it's all done. We just got a small patch of flooring down there, which is just going to be enough to land the walls, so they can get dropped there first thing tomorrow, and then we can go through and finish off the subfloor. We managed to get the flooring down quite quickly this morning, and our main goal for today now is to move around and stand up as many walls as possible. We want to get all the external walls up so that we do have a bit of a fall protection around upstairs, but unfortunately the walls are stacked in the worst way possible. We got them craned up and delivered in that one corner that we had floored, and all the walls on the top of those piles were the ones that had to go in that corner. And the worst thing about upstairs is we don't have a lot of room to store all the walls. So we're going to be spending half a day moving the walls around, stacking them on top of each other, just to fish out and find the walls that we need. We're done for the day. I'm at home at the moment and I'm about to do some work on my kitchen reno. I actually want to ask you guys for some advice. This is a wall I plastered in one of my previous videos. I haven't touched a thing. I haven't even sanded it back yet. But I want to do a feature with this wall, and I'm in two minds if I just do VJ paneling, keep it nice and simple, or if I should actually build some shelves and do something a bit more creative with this wall. I want to turn it into a cool feature wall and have some fun building something nice right here. While I'm at home as well though, I do want to quickly talk to you guys about Squarespace, the sponsor of this video. And if you don't know what Squarespace is, it's the all-in-one website platform that helps you design and run your own website. And if you're a tradie like me and you've got a business, or if you're about to set up a business, one crucial thing you need to do is set up a website so you can show off the work that you do, and also have a website so your name comes up when people search for you. And I definitely recommend building your website with Squarespace because they've got these built-in SEO tools, meaning that if people search for a tradie, a carpenter, whatever you are, your website is more likely to come up first in Google when people search for you. And on top of that, if you are making a website with Squarespace, they do have cutting-edge design, and they've even got a built-in AI blueprint which can actually make a customized website for you using AI. If you want to check it out, you can go to this link which is in the description, and you can go and build a website for free with a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your first website or domain, you can use code Does Carpentry, and that's going to give you guys 10% off. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and now let's jump back to that frame. All right, so it's day 5 today. We're gonna have another push because trusses are coming first thing tomorrow morning. Today should actually be one of the cruisiest, easiest days of the whole job. It's just gonna be slow to start with. I started looking through those prefab walls and everything is stacked all over the place. So we're gonna spend all morning just restacking stuff, moving things around. But today we're gonna get all the walls up, go through, brace everything off, and trusses are coming first thing tomorrow. And then hopefully tomorrow we can get the job pretty much done. It's gonna be a push. We'll see how we go. Luckily, these upstairs walls were built a lot better than those lower walls, and we didn't have to spend half the day pulling them apart and rebuilding them. So we got all the walls up pretty quickly, and the prefab company also supplied us with our parapet walls. I've never done it this way before, where we've actually stood up the parapets before putting the trusses in, but if it works out, it's going to save us a load of time. We're just going to have to deal with it later, as it's going to be a bit more awkward to spread the trusses around and move them into place. Alright, day 6 today. I think the trusses are coming any second, so I'm going to jump up, get ready for that delivery. Today's going to be a push. I don't think we'll get everything completely done today, but we should get pretty close. Having these parapet walls already built on both sides made it really tricky to move these trusses around. We couldn't just drag them parallel across the walls because those parapet studs were in the way, but instead we had to move every single truss onto an angle and slide it back and forth to get around those studs. In saying that, even though it was a bit of an issue to move the trusses around, I'm really happy we have these parapet walls up because I think it's going to save us so much time once the trusses are installed. Alright, so that's another day done. We got stitched up today as it rained non-stop. Regardless though, if I zoom out, we've got every single truss up upstairs, with the exception of a couple which go in there for the skylight, and we've just got a few beams to put in at the front too. So we're going to be back here tomorrow, finishing off, and tomorrow will be our last day on this frame, just doing those last bits and pieces. Today's going to be quite cruisy as we just run around and tie everything off. The only thing left to build is this front section of the roof, which is actually going to be cantilevering over the front of the house. So we're putting these beams in here to support everything, and once those beams are in, we just got to throw a few more trusses in and all of that's done. I'm up on the roof right now just doing some cross braces, and this is going to lock the roof into place so it can't move. And once this is done, I'm going to jump on and start screwing off these joist hangers, which are going to be holding up some of the skylight trusses. And then I'm going to switch over to the coil gun, start shooting off some of these boots, and then go through and clip everything off. And there we go. I wasn't expecting this frame to take a full 7 days, but we still theoretically got this done in the time frame of a week.